I never thought an ordinary school day could turn into the beginning of a nightmare. I was only 12, and the world felt too big, too loud. New York, the city that never sleeps. Its streets smelled like pizza, gasoline, and wet asphalt. For some people, that was the scent of freedom. For me, it was a reminder that everything could change in a second. After my parents' divorce, I lived on the border of two worlds. My dad disappeared, leaving emptiness and rare phone calls. My mom tried to hold it together, but at night I heard her muffled sobs through the thin walls. Those sounds aged me. They forced me to learn how to pretend. Pretend that everything was fine. Pretend the world was still safe. That morning gave me no warning. I pulled on my school uniform, a white shirt, a navy skirt. Breakfast was the same as always. Toast, orange juice. My mom kissed me goodbye, her eyes heavy with exhaustion. I stepped outside, breathed in the sharp autumn air, and walked my usual path to school. The bakery, the bookstore, the pharmacy on the corner, all of it was my little map of safety. But safety was the illusion. They stopped right next to me. I realized it too late. The gray SUV slid up so quietly I barely noticed it. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw the driver stare, cold, inhuman. I sped up, but the slam of the door cut through the street. A hand gripped my elbow. The smell of cheap cologne and tobacco burned my nose. "Where are you rushing, little girl?" His voice was calm, almost gentle. I screamed, but passersby only glanced and turned away. New York, the city of indifference. People always assume someone else will help. I was shoved into the car, the door slammed shut. I heard their voices and understood only one thing. I was trapped. The car stank of gasoline, sweat, stale upholstery. The men argued. One insisted on hurrying, the other warned they'd be noticed. Their words cut through me while my heart pounded so hard I thought my chest would split. I pressed against the door and counted heartbeats. 1, 2, 3, over and over, clinging to sanity. Sometimes I shut my eyes, hoping I'd wake up in my bed. But their rough voices, their breathing, the feel of their hands. This wasn't a dream. This was hell. I screamed again. The sound ripped out of me, raw, desperate. A heavy palm struck my face before I even saw it coming. I screamed and regretted it the very next second. "Shut up," he snarled. "Do it again, and you'll never make another sound." The metallic taste of blood filled my mouth. Tears streaked my cheeks. But the worst part wasn't the pain. It was realizing my voice couldn't save me. My scream hadn't mattered. They turned up the radio. Loud music drowned my sobs. They laughed, tossing crude jokes back and forth. And I sat there, a child, fighting for every breath. To them, I wasn't human. I was an object, something they could break. Yet inside me, a spark was growing. I noticed the door lock, slightly raised. A tiny chance. My heart slammed so violently my hands shook. I pretended to be calm. I leaned back, shut my eyes, as if giving in. Inside, every muscle screamed with tension, but outside I looked subdued. Click. The lock shifted. He noticed. His hand clamped around my wrist, crushing it. "What the hell are you doing?" I cried out. But this time, it wasn't just fear. It was determination. When the car door opened, I knew it was my only chance. The SUV stopped. The driver cursed, stepped out, slamming the door. The other man turned to say something, his eyes away from me, and I moved. I yanked the door and hurled myself out. Cold night air slammed into my face. I hit the gravel hard, my knees burning, but I ran. "Stop!" one of them shouted. I ran faster than I ever had in my life. My breath tore through me, my ears roared, but ahead, light. A street lamp. Under it, a silhouette. "Help!" I screamed, my voice cracking. "Please help me!" The man in the dark jacket turned, eyes widening when he saw me. He understood instantly. I clung to his arm, gasping. They kidnapped me." The roar of an engine exploded behind me. The kidnappers had realized it was over. The SUV shot forward, spewing dust, its red taillights vanishing into the night. I collapsed to my knees and sobbed. Those 3 hours changed me forever. Then came the police. Flashing lights, harsh voices, questions I could barely answer. I repeated the fragments. Gray car. 2 men. The smell. The laughter. Everything else blurred into terror. I remember the door to our apartment opening. My mom running toward me. Her hands shook as she held me, her tears soaking my skin. To her, I had returned from the dead. The days after blurred together. I jumped at every sound. Footsteps in the hallway. It's them. A door slamming. They're back. Even the familiar road to school felt hostile. At 12 years old, I lost the illusion that the world was safe. I learned danger can hide around any corner, that a smile can mask a threat. But along with fear, something else was born in me. Strength. I had survived. I had escaped. That thought became my armor. I began reading people differently. I learned to hear lies in their voices, to see truth in their eyes. Those 3 hours left me cautious, but stronger. Sometimes I woke at night, crying. I saw the car, the men's eyes, heard their laughter. But every time I whispered to myself, "You're here. You're home. You survived. With time, the pain dulled. But the scars stayed. Not on my body, on my soul. Looking back, I know. That's when my real life began. My childhood ended. I knew the world was cruel. But I also knew I had the strength to fight it. I share this not for pity. I share it because someone, somewhere, feels the way I once did. Trapped, hopeless, in hell. And I want to tell that person, there is a way out. Always. Those 3 hours stole my childhood. But they gave me resolve. A resolve to never give up. To keep moving forward, no matter how dark the road. And if you're listening to me right now, remember this. Even in the deepest hell, there is always a door. You just have to find the moment and dare to open it.